Good morning, everyone. How about a cold start this morning of my new C7 Stingray? Tell you all about it. What's up, guys? David coming at you today with 479 Muscle. I am inside of my newly acquired, new to me, 2016 C7 Z51. I bought this thing about a month ago, and I haven't had a chance to do a whole lot of reviews or a whole lot of videos on it. If you keep up with me on Instagram at 479 Muscle, you'll see I posted some pics on there, and you know, I went from having a 2010 Camaro SS to having this 2016 Corvette Stingray. So anyway, I thought I would just kind of start out by just talking a little bit about some of the differences between the two cars. I know anyone who has had both know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyone that's had a Camaro and is thinking about trading for a Corvette, this will kind of give you a little bit of information. Anyone who has a Corvette thinking about going to a Camaro, maybe this will help out as well. You know, the big thing that I've noticed, so a little backstory first off about my Camaro. Is 2010 SS, had long tube headers, X-pipe, full 3-inch exhaust, cold air intake, MSD, spark plug wires, and it was tuned. So it was an automatic, and it had about 70,000 miles on it roughly, and it was loud. It was in your face. It was rough. It was raw. It was fun. It was fantastic. I absolutely loved that thing. But it was very loud. The exhaust that was on it was I don't know exactly what it was. It was on there when I bought the car. Very loud. I would guess probably as far as horsepower goes, it probably had about the same amount of horsepower that this Corvette has got. I think stock, this Vette's got, I think 460 at the motor. The Camaro I had 400 at the motor with all the add-ons I had with the tune, cold air, all that stuff. I kind of assume, I never had it dynoed, but I kind of think that it had somewhere in the neighborhood of 480 to 500 at the motor. I could be completely wrong on that. I never had a dyno, but anyway, it was two completely different cars. I mean, that Camaro, I know it didn't have any, you know, anything fancy as far as, I know the 6 gens have, some of those have the magnetic ride suspension, but as far as the suspension goes, it didn't have anything just too fancy, and it rode so rough. I mean, you hit a bump, you knew it. I mean, that thing would just jar your teeth out. Corner, oh my gosh, it would corner like it was on rails. I mean, it handled beautifully. But as far as just to sit down in it and go for a ride, not much fun. Just to go on a long trip around town and around the house, it was great. Loved it, man. It was so much fun. But it was definitely the Corvette, in my humble opinion, is much more refined. And maybe the 6th gen Camaros are just as refined. I don't know. I've never even ridden in a 6th gen Camaro, but just this thing is smooth. I mean, you can run over any bumps you want to that would jar your head in the Camaro. This thing, it handles them smoothly. Just the acceleration. The Camaro had a 6-speed automatic. This is an 8-speed automatic. Just between gears is so smooth. Now, speaking of that, you know, both the cars had the paddle shifters, the tap shift thing for the automatic. The Camaro seemed like it was quicker. When I hit the button, it seemed like it shifted faster. This, you know, the Camaro had little buttons. This has actual paddles that actually move. The Camaro had a button back there. Had the paddle, but the paddle didn't move. So the button's what actually shifted the gears in the Camaro. But it's like with the Camaro, when I went from one gear to the next, it, you know, did it quickly, did it fast. Whereas the Corvette seems to take just a split second. When I hit the paddle shifter, it takes it just a second to shift. You know, no big deal. No big deal. Just one of the few differences. Another difference, of course, is, you know, I've got two boys that like to get in the car and ride with me. Well, biggest difference that I noticed was the Camaro, no back seat. I mean, Camaro back seat, Corvette, no back seat. So there's no back seat I'm sorry, the Corvette has no back seat. Camaro had a back seat. Was it functional for a normal sized human being? No. For my 7-year-old to sit back there in his booster seat, worked great. Here in the Vette, nothing. There's no back seat back there. So this truly is just two people. That's it. Another thing, a big difference is, I touched on it a minute ago. You know, I think horsepower wise at the motor, probably pretty close to the same. This one's completely stock, but this is just so much faster. I mean, the Vette is just, and I know the big difference has got to be the weight savings. I mean, you go around this car, every piece of body panel on this car is fiberglass. It's lightweight. You know, the Camaro is all steel. It's all metal. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are, but it outweighs the Corvette by quite a bit. Also, I'm gonna shoot you a side-by-side picture right here. So if you'll notice there, you know, Corvettes are pretty low to the ground, but and Camaros are pretty low to the ground, but the Corvette is so much lower than a Camaro. So I know the aerodynamics on that thing, you know, on this has to be a lot better. But yeah, the Camaro had the Boston Acoustics stereo system. This has the Bose. Sound about the same. They both sound good. My Camaro, I had two 10-inch subs in the back that gave me a little more bass. This one, I haven't done anything with that. I don't think I will. At most, I might do just a powered sub, just to give myself a little bit more bump. But for the most part, it's great. Another thing I love about this car is the removable top. I didn't get the convertible. It's a coupe, but it's got the top that comes off. My Camaro had a sunroof, which was awesome. I think it'd be awesome if Camaro would bring back the T-tops. I mean, come on, Camaro, bring back the T-tops. That was just so much fun. Whereas this right here, you can take the top off. It not a convertible, but you get the convertible feel. Love it. What else? I haven't done any 0 to 60 times in the Corvette just yet. My Camaro, I did a few of them. You know, the best I think I could get was somewhere around the 4.5 to 4.7 second mark, something like that, with what it had on it and the age of it. I didn't think it was too bad. I haven't done the Corvette yet, which is kind of cool. The Corvette's got the little timer thing that you can do on here, so you can see it as you're doing it. So I won't have to have one iPhone going and my timer going and trying to start and stop at the same time. So at best, yes. I just the interior of the Corvette is just so much nicer than my Camaro. Again, have just fantastic interiors also. I'm not saying, this is just strictly speaking to the 5th gens that I had, so I'm not passing judgment on any 6th gen. I actually had a very hard time not buying a 6th gen over the Corvette because I love my Camaro, and I knew the 6th gens had all of the stuff in them that I wanted, but you know, I just always wanted a Corvette. So this will not be my last Corvette either. I love it. At some point I will have either a Z06 or a ZR1 Corvette. Those are kind of my dream cars after this one. So well, someday, you know, right now this has been a someday in the making for a long time, so hopefully someday in the future I'll get something like that. So at some point here, very quickly, I will do a excuse me, a video reviewing my car, exactly what all the options I have on it, everything it's got. I will do a video on it. I will do something cool that there's a million of out there, but it's, hey, this is my first Corvette, so it's new to me, and I'm going to share it with everyone that wants to watch it. But future things, you know, I'm not going to do a whole lot to this car. First thing I did, I tinted the front windshield, so the side windshields, the back, the side shields, the back, all the glass was already tinted. The front windshield was not. I've never tinted the front windshield on a vehicle before, and I did this at 30%, and I love it. So here's a good picture of that. As you can see, it's pretty dark. At night, it gets a little bit tough to see out of, but I don't do a lot of night driving in this thing. As far as other things, I did a little research, you know, about cold air intakes and that sort of stuff. I saw a video where someone put on just a filter, a K&N just filter, not a cold air intake, but just replace the filter with one of their filters. Claimed about 8 or 10 horsepower gains. So, you know, that was 60 bucks. If I go with the K&N complete cold air intake, those things are like 400 bucks. And I think they advertise like 12 to 15 horsepower, you know, so for 3 or 4 horsepower less and 300 bucks less, hey, I'm okay with that. But I do want to get a set of headers. I want to get an X-pipe, and I want to do a tune at some point on this car. And that would probably be the extent of it. I'm very pleased with the stock exhaust that this has. It's not too loud. My Camaro, I dealt with a horribly loud Camaro for a while, and I like that this is not horribly loud. I did do the fuse pull that everyone talks about, the fuse number 42, that keeps all the butterfly valve things open all the time. Can I notice a difference? Nah, not really. I had it on track mode all the time anyway. I don't notice much difference in it being much more loud, so whatever. I may put it back in just because I don't notice any difference. But as far as anything else goes, the car is pretty much the way it's going to be. I don't have any big plans for this thing besides just driving it and enjoying my first Corvette, hopefully the first of many. I can tell you my wife and my 7-year-old and my 2-year-old boy just absolutely love it. They think this is the coolest thing ever. My son always wants to be taken to daycare in it, so that makes me proud that he is proud to be, he knows what this car is, he's proud to be in it, so makes me happy, makes me smile. So I guess with that, I'll sign off of here, and I hope that everyone has a fantastic day, and that everyone is as happy and blessed as I am. So have a wonderful day. We'll see you guys next time.